First up from Mr. Man says, I appreciate you every time you see my name. You mention your daughter and dog. Top 3 moments from your daughter so far. If you don't know, Mr. Man is what my daughter likes to call my dog sometimes. Mr. Man or Mr. Boy. Finn is what he calls him. There's a lot of good moments. There's been a couple of times where she gets very sassy. And like she knows she's getting sassy and responds with something incredibly humorous or just like dismisses stuff outright. Funny one was when we learned that she could unlock doors. And she went outside by herself one day. I was doing laundry in the basement. I hear the back door unlocked. I go, oh boy, run right upstairs. And there she is on the monkey bars by herself. She's very smart and stuff. Fun moment was this weekend when we went hiking. We were like in the forest, and there was like a little swampy moss, and Finn thought it was grass and walked right off and fell into the water. So that was fun. All right, Elite 360. Love the show and all the work you do. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very kind. Or thank you very much. Very kind of you to say. That's from Elite 360 on that front. Mr. Getmore 187 says thanks as well. Both of these two, or all 3 of these, I should say, came in via Super Thanks, which is a feature here on YouTube that allows you to edit your message, send in whatever it is. It's just like a super chat that's available on demand. So even if it's non-Cowboys, that it's more about just saying thank you or the daughter and dog, we got you covered. Edit your message and send in your super thanks. From Jotman, the Cowboys having 10 picks in this upcoming draft. There are 1 to 6 and then 4 comp picks. How would you use them? Assume the board breaks right for you. How many go on each side of the ball? I'm thinking 2 to 3 on offense, 7 to 8 on defense. I would use free agency to address other needs on offense. See, I would just address everything in free agency. I think this team is at its best drafting-wise when they actually get to go BPA. When they don't have to go defensive end or defensive tackle or offensive tackle. And they don't have to take this position group because they just don't have a viable option right now available. I think they are at their best when they allow themselves to just let the guy that fell to you take him. That was the CeeDee Lamb draft. You just took him. It was a no-brainer. Easy peasy. When that happens, the Cowboys draft well. So look, I'm looking at wide receiver. I'm looking at running back. I'm looking maybe at offensive line. I'm looking at multiple defensive linemen, edges, and DTs. I need multiple players there. Probably need another linebacker. I might need 2 backs, frankly, since everyone's out of a contract. Basically, that's out of Deuce Von Hunter. Lipke, might need safeties, might need a corner. So I would address a lot of my needs and then go, okay, I can take my best player available. And if I have too much talent at receiver, oh no. Like, that's how I would try to do it. Because when the Cowboys do that, they draft pretty well. The Cowboys are a good drafting team. They do a good job relative to the rest of the NFL at drafting. However, they are not good enough, no team is, to only use the draft. You have to do free agency as well. So grade the Cowboys as drafters. A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section of today's show. From We Don't Wife These 304s, could Gruden be the next head coach? No. I think Jon Gruden's time in the NFL is done. Is it fair? Maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe he did get railroaded. Very suspicious that none of the other commanders' emails leaked out. That's fine to acknowledge. But he still said that stuff. I think it'd be a terrible hire by Dallas. I don't think you could realistically go that route. JL Channel, that is how it's pronounced, but I still think it flows with the tongue. But that's your name, so I'll call you properly there, Jay. Have you heard anything about them bringing up Dalvin Cook? Cook can't do no worse than Zeke. Look, you're at the point where if you don't do it after the bye, is it ever going to happen? Or is he just bad? Or their politic BS in the way of being unable to do it with anybody else? Like, look, if this is the week to do it, and I kind of want to do it because I think you'll run more outside zone, and that benefits you as well. You do a better job of that when you're able to run outside zone. So I hope that they do it. I just don't know if they're going to, because the other reality is they just might not be good. He might not be good anymore. Very real concern. Roy Williams. Losing Julius Wood to the Titans hurts even more now that our safeties are terrible. The one I still really hurt, Mrs. Isaiah Land would help you a lot right now. He'd be really helpful to you. But the Cowboys said they had edges last year, and now they don't because they all got hurt, which is, you can't predict it, but still. But yeah, you wouldn't mind having Wood, who hasn't done anything for Tennessee, but he'd look in the preseason at least. Connor Holden, how about a James Conner trade? Connor's going to be a rental here. And I don't know if this team wants to or if they even should be in the market for rental. Is Conner better than what you got? Yes, absolutely. Does trading a fifth round pick for a guy that's going to be here help you not make the playoffs? That's the thing you have to consider there. Now, free agency, veteran piece, to still draft somebody, I'm very interested there. So will the Cowboys make a trade? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Get those predictions in for me in the comment section of today's show. Johnny Lopez, then we'll get to Mark's super chat here. Instead of Kamara, why not trade for Jamal Williams instead? I think the reason why you're not interested in Jamal Williams is depends on which one of your backs. How about this? If you want the short yardage back, Jamal Williams can be that guy. But he's never been an efficient, explosive guy. So it comes down to what you're looking for. You know, he's averaged like under 4 yards per carry the last 4 years combined. Like, that's not who he is. He's not an explosive play runner. So if you want that short yardage power back, sure. He can help you there. If you want more explosive plays, which is what I tend to prefer, that's not my guy. Mark, aloha Tom, I disagree with draft. We hit home runs or duds. I would trade Parsons. I think he'll become a locker room issue. We have so many holes. Not a lot of room between duds and home runs, I suppose. But you have found like rotation pieces, right? Like Donovan Wilson, I think fits in that mold. I think Oso Deizua fits in that mold. Guys that can start for you, that are not superstars necessarily. And you can look at however you want to judge it. If you do a consistent, scoring system across the NFL, they're a top 5 drafting team. But you can't be top 5 and bottom 5 in free agency. That's how you get so many holes. I think when it comes to Micah, you've got 2 options. Trade him before free agency, get all of those picks, or pay him before free agency and to have more money to spend to get to get more players to fill those holes on your roster. I think either of those plans is fine, but you need to attack it earlier and not let it drag out into August again. That, which I think they're going to do, is going to annoy me to no end. Speaking of the defense here, you can get the Cowboys turnover chain over at chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. The last time we mentioned the turnover chain, the Cowboys got a takeaway that week. So we're trying to speak it into existence here again. Chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. Link will be in the comments and the description of today's show. $20 from Dwayne Jackson. In regards to Dalvin Cook, they should send him to the main roster. It's hardly that he can regress in the practice when they know what he is. They're trying to their scheme and it's something he's not. So I think this is a real issue. If your head coach has said that he views Dalvin as an outside zone runner, and he has called your ground game, quote unquote, tight inside zone. I called it tight zone as a slanderous comment, and then Mike said, yep, you're right. It blows my mind. If you just try to run Dalvin Cook up the middle, it's not going to work. That's kind of why I want Dalvin Cook out there, because this staff knows he's an outside zone guy. So hopefully if he gets called up, you do more outside zone, right? That's what I'm hoping for. Look, now if their conclusion is he's bad in practice, okay, and why is he still on your roster? Go get somebody else. Jesse, why isn't Hunter Lipke our power back? I don't know if they view him as a true runner. I think they view him more as a fullback, which he was kind of a bit of everything at North Dakota State. They will tell you Zeke is the fourth back, or he's the power back, but they don't use him in power back stuff. So, honestly, I think there is a disconnect between your front office and coaching staff with how players should be deployed. That's what I think. Brody Jacob, The Athletic, mentioned Deebo as a trade option. Can Dallas get him? I don't think so. They weren't going to pay for him in the first place. But now that Ayuk's done for the year, they kind of need Deebo. They need that receiver. And they were down their top 3 guys against the Chiefs. They should get at least 1 or 2 of them back this week. I would not get my hopes up for a Deebo Samuel trade. Now, speaking of trades, sorry to be so negative on these, I guess, and always say, nope, don't get your hopes up, but that's how it's going to go. Name a player who you want to trade for. Let me know in the comments of today's video. For the truth, JC Forever, are there any decent defensive ends out there we could trade for that would not break the bank? I don't know what break the bank means, but I do think that you would be able to get Zadarius Smith that wouldn't be overly expensive. This guy I'd call about. The Jets got Hassan Reddick back, so cross that one off your list. But, can I get Josh Uche as a pass rusher? Those are guys I would call about. Now, if you have not already, and make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Free Cowboys videos and live mailbags twice a week as well. Marcus Arnold, Jordan Lewis, a free safety. Then who's your nickel? / who is your other outside corner when you got Deron Bland at nickel, I would guess. Is he? Honestly, of your defensive players, Jordan Lewis might be your best one this year, which is saying a lot with what you've had on defense. So I kind of don't want to move Jordan Lewis to free safety. At least right now, I think corner is where he can be. I am not opposed to long-term to a Leon Hall-esque change. Remember that one? From corner to safety. That could work because he tackles well. But right now, I'm going to keep him at nickel. Mark, with his slanderous comments, I will hook up with Lizzo before Jerry Jones makes a trade. Appreciate that, Mark. I honestly have no response to that. So I appreciate that one. And we'll just end on that one. There's no better one to end on than Mark. You guys can put your I'll do blank before Jerry Jones makes a trade suggestions, ideas, comments in the comments of today's show.